Welcome here today, and I'm delighted to introduce you all to Pete James, who's primarily known as a songwriter and a worship leader, but is also the founder of something called Cheeky Pandas. And Cheeky Pandas is playing a role in the Queen's Jubilee, which is why Pete and I are having this conversation today. But there's a lot more to it than that. So I'm going to invite Pete to explain how he came to found Cheeky Pandas.
Hi, yes, well, that's a wonderful question. So Cheeky Pandas really began life as one song, and that song was about the armor of God. The song's called God's Suit On, and the song really had the intention of just teaching children directly from the Bible about the armor of God, and it had always been a great passion of mine as a worship leader and worship pastor, was how do you engage all ages in worship. And so to write songs for children was always quite fun for me, and I'd written one or two before, but this was quite intentional. Actually, what happens if we really try and communicate as much as possible, just like Ishmael? I guess he used to do that a lot, right? So that song had a music video made to it, which we thought was fun, to have a dance routine to help children remember the song.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a phenomenal £20 on that video and filmed it on the seafront here in my town, and it gained traction, and it seemed like it was very useful for churches to use and in worship.
We did. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, you used it too?
Yeah, we did use it. It was brilliant. I loved it. It's my favourite song.
Well, there's lots. Actually, there's really fun on YouTube now. You see lots of other churches and people have made their own music videos to it, doing the dance routine.
Gosh, was yours? Did you have a pink background and a girl doing the actions?
She's on a blue background actually on the seafront, and the beautiful bit in it, which was a complete accident, is you see her shadow obviously moving wherever she moves in the dance routine. But one of my favourites is there's a vicar or clergy person in their full robes on YouTube dancing to the song. I really like that one.
I'll have to look.
Anyway, so in short, the song led to another song, led to another one, and we kept making music videos for them. And as budgets increased, and a very generous couple stepped in to help fund some of those early videos and songs, and actually still with us on the journey. I began to wonder what happens if you bring Cheeky Pandas to life, more than just a name to hide behind as songwriters. What happens if the pandas come alive and you create identities for them and names and build them as a band, albeit a virtual band?
Mm-hmm.
And then where could that lead? Could that become toys? Could it become worship songs? Could it become a movie? Could it become a TV series? And so, because the further and wider it became in its reach, the more people it could attract and point towards God. So that seemed to me like an incredible opportunity to consider.
And it has been blessed, hasn't it? It's extraordinary when you look back as to how far you've come now.
Yeah, in the short space of time, it's gone from a small team working on that original song, me and a friend and a producer, to now there's a book publishing team and doing what they do with creating the books and marketing. There's a live band that's being formed with the Cheeky Pandas on stage. So we're appearing at Big Church Day Out soon with all the pandas on stage. Both the Friday and the Saturday will be there.
Okay.
Then there's the whole animated series and the production team behind that. There's the charity arm. There's incredible generosity through people who really would not be involved in this world naturally, but have plowed so generously to fund it. So this is an enormous team now helping make this happen, and there's a whole project management side to it as well. So I'm so grateful I get to work with all those people who believe in it and are excited about seeing children and families encounter God through this.
Through Cheeky Pandas.
through Cheeky Pandas.
It's brilliant, isn't it? And it's mainly primary age children, isn't it, that it's aimed at?
We felt that was probably the target bracket. The music's probably pitched a little bit above, but then I think you see the evidence of that in the pop industry, that children actually don't just lean to very young songs, actually they're drawn in by what they're inspired by that's a little bit older. So the music's probably pitched slightly above, but the books are certainly pitched at primary school age. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense about the music. Yeah, I can relate to that. Wow. So it's a multi-talented, multifaceted industry that it's become. It's amazing. You've got a partnership as well with Thy Kingdom Come, the Archbishop of Canterbury's initiative. How did that come about?
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. That came about through some involvement my wife has working with Thy Kingdom Come. My wife was involved in project management and working with Thy Kingdom Come. And they made an approach to us, actually, about Cheeky Pandas and whether or not we could team up and produce some product for them for Thy Kingdom Come. Around that time, we began scripting what we thought would be this TV series. It was all conceptual at this point. And then obviously it was around the time when COVID hit, and so lockdown changed everything. And overnight we had to rethink everything that we'd written of how we would film Cheeky Pandas as a TV show, and move to animation, because social distancing meant there was no practical way we could film, build props, gather that many people. There was just no way. But animation meant that we could work via the internet and work remotely, which we hadn't gone down that route initially because it was too expensive. But it felt like this COVID thing was either a moment to back off and shrink back, or God was inviting us to step up and be bold and courageous. And that's really where we felt that God was leading us. Additional money came in. We found an incredible team called Missional Generation, who took on the animation for us. And we tore up the scripts and rewrote everything over the Christmas period, which I never want to have to do again. And basically moved towards an animation. And that's what we did. And all the songs were written remotely and recorded remotely. And so during this time of great restriction, we were actually able to flourish and put something into the hands of churches that meant they could embed it straight away into their services. So it meant we met the deadline for Thy Kingdom Come. We produced 11 animated episodes, each with a song, each with a prayer, and then surrounding resources. So Thy Kingdom Come were really the springboard platform that took it forward. It was quite a crazy deadline to meet to pull it off, but we managed it, and there's great synergy with the Thy Kingdom Come team, and it's been a delight working with them, and they've made some incredible things happen. So it was really quite a unique partnership, I think, that God smiled on with that.
That is amazing, isn't it? I mean, that was an initiative that Justin Welby was so inspired to start, and and that started so small for him, and then became a bigger and bigger and bigger thing.
Absolutely.
So and
I'm deep gratitude to him and the team for taking a chance on somebody saying, I have this idea, it's called Cheeky Pandas, and we could make a small TV show.
Well, we know he's grandparent, isn't he? So perhaps he could see the benefits.
I think so. He's said some very kind things about it in the past, and obviously we got to support it with the Thy Kingdom Come event at Trafalgar Square a few years ago with Matt Redman. That was the first place where we aired what could be a live band.
Gosh, I didn't know about that. That's
cool. we just supported early on in the day, and that went really well. But I don't think people really knew what they were watching, because I was there, from a worship leading background, then I'm surrounded by pandas.
Yes. Oh, there's not much more kind of cute and appealing than a panda, though, as well. It's a great animal to choose.
There you
go. We're panda fans in this household.
Yeah, right. Well, who isn't? I mean, I don't know why I arrived at that name. I remember coming up with it in the kitchen, and but it's been fun bringing them to life. They seem like an ideal animal to pull on. They've each got their own little characters. They live in a tree house. The tree house is a recording studio. They love skateboarding and camper vans, and several people have asked, is this your world? I'm like, I choose not to comment on that, but
there's an NDA there somewhere.
Right, exactly.
The Cheeky Pandas are the Cheeky Pandas.
Exactly.
Them in their world. I did notice this year actually that Thy Kingdom Come starts from 26th of May and runs to the 5th of June. Yep. So this is a prayer-focused space of time. And because there's a Cheeky Panda book just coming out that's very important, and it's related to the Platinum Jubilee, and the Platinum Jubilee runs from the 2nd to the 5th of June. So those two are actually running concurrently, but you've also become part of that too. So you're linking Cheeky Pandas, Thy Kingdom Come,
and the Platinum Jubilee.
The Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah. Who'd have thought? We obviously didn't decide the dates of the Platinum Jubilee, but there's been quite a lot of synergy in what we were planning as a resource to really, I guess, engage children in quite a historic moment, but also consider how the Queen has conducted herself, the life she's lived, and her faithfulness to us, to her people, to God, and what it looks like to understand God as a faithful God to us, but then also to live faithfully to one another. So that's really the whole premise of the book that we worked on, and the animated episode. So CJ, who's one of the pandas, she can be a little bit bossy sometimes, and she decides she wants to take over the bouncy castle. She wants to be queen of the castle. That's basically the narrative, and she learns through the episode, with the help of Mr. Narrator, what it means to be faithful and kind.
Very good. So reflecting the Queen's 70-year reign of faithfulness and yeah.
And we thought it would be fun to give something away at that time as well. It's a great time of celebration, and so through extreme generosity, we were able to give away. I think we've given away over 400,000 books now to schools, churches, and children across the UK, and it's an abridged version of the full story of Queen CJ and the bouncy castle, and then in the back of it has a QR code so they can link through to where they can purchase the full story book, which is coming out at Big Church Day Out in a couple of weeks.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. That's brilliant. Yeah. No, it's wonderful. I've seen online that schools can sign up and get copies of the book. So
and they have. There a lot of orders came in very quickly.
You're not doing the boxing up as well, are you?
No, not me personally, but thank you to those that have.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, that really is wonderful. And actually that link with schools ties in with something else, Pete, that you said you've got a kind of, with all this ministry of songwriting and writing and focusing on primary school kids. Yeah. You had a bit of a rethink through lockdown yourself as well.
Yeah, I think lockdown probably challenged a lot of thinking for many people, and myself included. One of the exciting things to come out of lockdown was that it caused us to innovate, whereas I would travel and be limited to play in front of that particular venue or wherever that place was. All of a sudden my mind began to wonder, well, if this is a virtual band that I'm not restricted at being at, then it can use the internet and be anywhere in the world at any one time. And so the possibilities became much wider. But then I think what I learned about myself in that time too was that in stepping really deeply into the world of a writer, there's quite isolating, and so my world became fully internal. Really, I'm constantly songs were turning, lyrics were turning, stories were turning. Particularly during the script writing phase, that was some quite sleepless nights. And there's always I have a songwriting board next to me with there's probably about 15 songs on the go on there, and stories as well. And so with that constant turning in my mind, I realized actually I need another component to life, and it's just how I'm wired. I need to be around people a bit more and have a little bit more structure in my week. So to strike a balance, I've just taken on a part-time role that I start next week as a TA in a school, and I'll be working with children with special educational needs, and really looking forward to what that offers.
Wow. I mean, that sounds so different, but actually when you look at what you've been doing, you can see that would lead into that. And that, as you say, being with people, I mean, a school environment is so rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, I've been involved in music now for 28 years or something, maybe more. And songwriting specifically has been a thread throughout that time. And there've been moments where I've held other jobs and been a worship pastor for 12, 13 years of that. And then other moments where it's been full time, just right, with Cheeky Pandas particularly. But I think this will provide a nice equilibrium to the week and to family structures and things. And Cheeky Pandas can play wherever they want, via the internet, but then also with the live band that's just beginning, the possibilities are endless there, because actually they could be in multiple countries at any one time. But don't tell the children that.
That's true. No, it's genuine experience for them.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think the school's a lovely environment, and going back in my career path, I did work with children quite a bit in an educational trust for 7 years, and I loved the people interaction. And so I'm further along my writing career, but I think it could be quite life-giving and quite thought-provoking and generate new ideas and thoughts and ways of doing things. So
that sounds great for yes, inspiring a whole new stream of sort of accessible I don't know, tools or ways into finding out more about what themes there are that you can draw out into that.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's been a delight with Cheeky Pandas to translate it into BSL. So some of the early series was done, and we also translated into other languages. And just to be considering how Cheeky Pandas reaches as wide as possible. I love that. I certainly saw that at a lot of events I've played at. There's been a big rise, hasn't there, in making sure venues are fully accessible, and that there's signing teams are well prepared so they can deliver the content well. And so I'm really delighted that Cheeky Pandas is on the front foot of that stuff as well.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. And there's definitely a move. God is opening our eyes and ears to trying to be much, much, much more accessible to everybody, not wait to be asked to make things accessible, but to be kind of active about it.
Yeah.
Our next issue of Preach magazine is actually all about disability. That'll be out in the autumn.
Okay.
So we might put the resource in there for Cheeky Pandas as well.
Yeah, wonderful.
Watch this space. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. And what's your website, Pete, so people can find out?
Our website is cheekypandas.com. Everything on there is free and accessible for churches to use, and families to watch it, with the children. You can link through to all the animated stories, all the cartoons, all the songs are there, all the videos, the music videos. And there's other Sunday school resources that you can follow the links through to. And like I say, the book series is coming out very soon, and so people will be able to get the full stories very, very shortly.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Exciting.